Good day and welcome to the installation of the Glacier Bay Mckenna pull-out sink faucet. So, what are we doing? I'm replacing that faucet, which works just fine. It's an old Price Pfister, and I'm replacing it with this top hook design because it just looks better. And if I sell the house, I want it to be upscaled a bit, so this will help. So I bought the least expensive, good-looking faucet I could find, and this was it. This came in at $120 Canadian, so for easy math, 100 US. I could have got it for $10 less if I had purchased the chrome version, but they were out of stock, so I went with the stainless steel finish. So let's open this box and show you what's in it, and then we'll show you how to swap it out. It's not rocket science, but if you've never done it before, you might be a little worried. So let's get rid of the straps. Manual. Let's see if there's anything funky in there. My guess is that the only thing it's going to say, I think, is that, that's not really sort of obvious, is that there's a deck plate and not a deck plate. So if your sink has 3 holes, you put the deck plate in. If your sink has 1 hole, you just use the faucet. But let's just take a look. In the beginning, there was package contents. And in theory, what you should do is go through and just make sure all the parts are there. I never seem to do that. It just takes too much time, and the parts are always there now. Didn't used to be the case, but is now, so. Okay, so drop it in, crank the plastic coupler. Well, that's not even a coupler, it's just a
nut.
Right word for it. Put the water on, and you're on your way. Okay, so pretty straightforward. That's enough of that. Let's look at the actual faucet. So there we go. So there's a pull down faucet. You can see it's the black line, and the black line comes out here, which is why the black line's longer. You got your hot and cold, and you're on your way. There's your tap. So this is the holder that we're going to screw into the bottom here, right? And that's going to clamp it in. And let's see what's in the box. This is just going to be a weight, I think. Yeah. And the reason you put the weight on is so that the pull-out sprayer pulls back down. That's how it does it, just with this little guy here. So let's see, this probably clamps in there. Yeah, so you clamp that in, slide it in, and you're on your way. Let's put that aside for the moment, along with the clamp. And then that will leave a grand total of 2 things in here. Comes with an Allen key. That's going to be, I think, for the weight, to clamp the weight down, I think, but I'm not sure, we'll find out. And then there's the plate. Now I need the plate because my sink has 3 holes, so that's what's in it. Anything in here? No, nothing. So let's show you the package, the box, in case there's something in the box that you find interesting, or on the box that you want to check. I bought this, as I said, at Home Depot, but you can get it at many providers.
And what we're about to show you is pretty generic. This is the way almost all kitchen faucets now go in. For the matter, all bathroom faucets. There's really not a lot of difference in any of these. The goal here is to give you the confidence to do this yourself. You do not need to hire somebody to install a faucet.
So that is the tap I want to replace. And let's go underneath and see how you do that. Down we go. The first thing to know is pull everything out, except a cloth in case there's a few drips. First thing you want to do is turn the water off. Now, if your house is old enough that it doesn't have a shut off here, turn off your main water. Because you need to have the water off. We're just going to leave that at that. It's self-explanatory. Next thing is disconnect the tap from your lines. You can see a few drips here, which is why I've got this little cloth here. So there we go. There we go. There's a bit of water dropping out, completely expected, which is why I've got a cloth down. This Price Pfister has these great little quick disconnects. So I'm just going to turn, I'll show you this one first, because this is one you can see a little better. There we go. Loosen it up. And don't just loosen it up, take it off. It needs to come right off. There is this little guy here I need to get rid of too. All right, let's try this little 10 mil. Ooh, a little too small. And an 11 mil is too large. So I'm gonna go to a non-metric socket. There we go. Let's see if this works. There we go, boys and girls. Now, it's a great idea to not destroy this, because I'm going to give this to Habitat for Humanity, because there's nothing wrong with this faucet. It's just not the style I want anymore. So let's pull that little retaining bracket off. I have to squeeze these together. There it is. And it's off, and I'll put it all back together and give it to Habitat. And it'll get used in somebody's house quite nicely. There we go. In case you're wondering why one of these is shorter, it's so it can fit through the smaller hole. Get rid of the grime. And this isn't just a hygiene thing or a gross thing. It's because if you want the plate to sit flat, it needs a flat surface to be on. Okay, a lot of people put silicone down here, but you don't have to, because as you can see here, there's a rubber gasket, and that's included on virtually all faucets these days, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put that down there. I'll just put the lines in one by one. Okay, the first thing to do, now that you've got it down here, is to put the nut on. Something to notice is that this nut is flexible. See, it goes, springs up and down a bit. All right, and this is meant to be hand tightened, so don't use any tools. All right, so let's just put all the cables through it. Okay, once you've got it up there, what you need to do is push it in, because that spring that I showed you has to click in. So you put it in. There it goes. Now it's tightened. Keep cranking it down as tight as you reasonably can with your hands.
The next thing to do is to put that weight on the black sprayer line.
Your sprayer is the black line, and you're thinking, well, I've got two black lines. That's correct. This is one that runs from the mixing chamber above into the actual sprayer, okay? So this just clips on. But first you have to put the weight on. The question is where to put the weight, and that's what this little white mark is. So what you do is you put your plastic clip on it, and you put the wedge, the fat part, on at the bottom, not at the top. Oh, actually, look, it's even labeled up. I don't know whether you can read that clearly, but trust me, it says up. Just snap that in. There we go. Then you can put the weight on top of that and just slide it down. There we go. And that will provide the weight that is necessary to keep that thing down. Now, what we do is we take our lines and we connect them. And these just snip in together. See, clip in. So now your sprayer is connected, it's got the weight on it. All you need to do is connect the water lines. And you can see that these flexible lines are really long, longer than I've seen in other units. And so I'm going to remove the flexible lines that I have here, and I'll give those to Habitat for Humanity. Again, make sure you've got a cloth under it, because a little bit of water is almost certainly going to run out. I'm going to take my hot line, which is labeled hot, and put it on the hot side. You could use some silicone tape here, but it's not really necessary anymore. So you check for leaks, make sure it's good. Okay, so that's on. I need to tighten it. And you want to make sure when you're doing this that you're not moving these other connections too much. Water lines have a nasty habit of not staying sealed, so you want to make sure that you're not screwing around with them too much, not putting too much pressure on them. So, you know, it is water, and water is an unpleasant thing to deal with when you have leaks. So let's move on to the other side and get that one done. So let's turn the water on, see if we have any leaks. Don't see anything. I don't see anything. So I will come back and check this in a minute. But now, let's go up and take a look and see if we have water. Cold. Blue down there, little blue thing. That's cold. Turn it to hot. Now I'm very near the hot water heater, so this will come through fairly quickly. Yep, already good. Now while that's running, I'm going to see if there's any leaks. I don't expect anything, but always a good idea to check. Then I'll turn it off and do the same thing. No, I don't see anything. I don't see anything leaking, so with pressure changes it's staying. Let's go back up. Check the pull down. Yep, that works fine. And the sprayer, little switch here. So that works fine. Oh, I'm very happy with that. And now the only thing I have left to do is to take the old unit to our friends at Habitat for Humanity so that it can stay out of the landfill and someone else can use it.
We would very much appreciate it if you'd click like on this video.
Very much helps with the Google algorithm. If this is the kind of thing you like, please click subscribe. That would be also very helpful. And if you have any questions or concerns, put them in the comment section below, or you can always get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.